This is an overview of the Woodcock-Johnson assessment. The Woodcock-Johnson assessment focuses on evaluating the strengths and weaknesses of the test taker. With the help of this assessment, administrators will be able to identify and describe patterns of performance across achievement, language, and cognitive domains that are key to diagnosing learning problems and developing targeted interventions for individual needs. The assessment is organized into 3 batteries that can be used independently or together in any combination. The batteries are cognitive abilities, or language, and achievement. This is appropriate for students from 2 years old all the way until 100 years old, and it does come in English and Spanish forms. This is the achievement battery for the Woodcock-Johnson assessment. This battery includes 20 tests to measure academic achievement in reading, math, written language, science, social studies, and humanities. So you can see here that there's a standard battery of tests 1 through 11, and then 12 through 20 are called an extended battery. So you can see that on the top it shows exactly what these tests are assessing and which ones can go together with each other. This is the cognitive battery in the Woodcock-Johnson assessment, which includes 18 tests for measuring general intellectual ability, cognitive ability, and aspects of cognitive functioning. These tests can be given independently or in any kind of combination. And again, you can see that the standard battery is test number 1 through 10, and then the extended battery is 11 through 18, and you can see exactly what they assess and the different types of things that they are looking for. And this is the last one, the oral language battery of the Woodcock-Johnson assessment. This includes 12 tests for measuring oral language ability and listening comprehension in English and Spanish, oral expression, phonic coding, and speed of lexical access. This one only has a standard set in their battery, which is test numbers 1 through 12. And you can see that there are the Spanish ones, 10 through 12 are the Spanish versions, and 1 through 9 are the English versions. And again, all of these batteries can be mixed and matched together. The different tests can be pulled out and put with different types of batteries just to get a deeper assessment of the individual that you're testing. So here's some test variation examples of that. So let's say if you're looking for oral comprehension, the core test would be oral language 2, but it can also be paired with oral language 6, understanding directions, and achievement 4, passage comprehension. Segmentation would be a core one, and that's oral language 3, and it can also be paired with oral language 7, sound blending, and cognitive 5, phonological processing, and also cognitive 12 would work, non-word repetition. So it's all about how you want to put it together, exactly what you're looking to assess, and they can just kind of mix and match, or you can just do the one core test and be done with it. The testing setup is, the testing booklet is folded like the picture in a triad to allow the student to see their side and the administrator to see the other side. The examiner or the administrator would sit diagonally across from the student and at a corner of a table. The examiner should be able to view the student's side of the easel as well as their own side to be able to record their responses. The administrator keeps score in a scoring booklet that is provided, and the student will also have an answer booklet as well, and so that they can write down their own answers when it is needed. It's mainly for the math sections where they can answer the problems. Some tests are timed from about 3 to 10 minutes, and others are not, and they will be administered until the student's ceiling has been met. So you can see that in this picture, this administrator is left-handed, so that is why they're set up on that side. If you're right-handed, you would flip the table so that the student is on the other side and the administrator is easily accessed to their right hand to be able to write their answers. So the administrator is looking for the student's basal score. That's the number one thing they're looking for. It's basically their starting point. This is where the student gets 6 answers correct in a row on the test. So as I mentioned before, the test progresses from the easiest answers, so from kindergarten level all the way up to college level. So once the student starts getting 6 answers correct in a row, that is where their basal score begins. Then the administrator is looking for the student's ceiling score, which is the point where the student would get 10 in a row incorrect. At this point, the administrator can assume that the student has reached their max and the test will stop. You don't want to test the student any further because there's basically no point in it. They have reached their max, and that is where we need to stop the test. Each test progresses from easiest material to the hardest, as I said. The testing booklet states which questions are for which grade. So, for example, question 6 could start off at second grade questions, and every question, you can assume that every question before that is for kindergarten and first grade questions. So this is a test example. This would be the student's view and the examiner's view. You can see that, say on number 18, it says the administrator will point to the picture on the subject's page and say, what is this? The correct answer they're looking for is truck. If they give the answer car, the administrator should say, tell me another answer. If you look at number 23, you would again point to the picture and say, what is this called? The correct answer they're looking for is microphone. Here's some more examples of you point to the picture on the page and you ask the student to put your finger on the boy's mouth. It is correct if they point to the mouth. Anywhere else on the face would be an incorrect answer. You can also see on this page that there is a testing, a graded sheet here. You can see that the administrator will put 1 for correct answers and 0 for incorrect answers. You can also see that the administrator next to boat, the student said ship. So they put that little note on there to know that they were close, but they didn't get the word that the Johnson Woodcock was looking for. So scoring, the Woodcock Johnson has a computerized scoring summary that will generate the most accurate scoring profile for you. It's a whole computerized thing. You just basically put in the scores and it'll tell you exactly how the students scored and where they stand academically. Administrators will mark 1 for correct answers and 0 for incorrect answers. Once the time is complete and or the student's ceiling has been met, the administrator will stop the test and tally the points based on the answers given. A testing booklet will give the administrators the correct answers. So again, here's some scoring examples. The blue is what the administrator will say, and it gives you the correct answer and the incorrect answers. You can see on the right side is another scoring sheet, or is the same scoring sheet, and you can see that on this particular test 1 section, this student got 20 correct, so that would be their score on this section is 20. The importance of the Woodcock-Johnson assessment is that it tests for individual evaluation of academic achievement, cognitive abilities, and oral language. This test helps school psychologists to relate cognitive assessment results to instructional planning, and this assessment results are linked to relevant suggestions, interventions, or accommodations that can be used to create a student's program plan, teach strategies for learning, and improve educational outcomes. So this assessment is mainly for school psychologists and or teachers to just better understand where their students stand as an individual and what they need in order to progress in their educational outcomes. It also will help them to see different strategies of how exactly to help them, and then also gets the students. You can also test the students on the 3 separate batteries, whereas most tests are all together. So you can actually see the difference separated and see exactly how the student is doing. Here are some citations for you to look at, and that is it on the Woodcock-Johnson assessment. Thank you.